class, how's everybody doing? My name is Gregory Terrell, and I'm speaking today on forensic autopsies. If you've seen Law and Order, they find the dead body, they send it to the medical examiner's office, they do the forensic autopsy, and they determine what the cause of death was, the time of death, how the person died, and then they just report back, determine what happened exactly. So I'm just going to explain the steps of a forensic autopsy. Pretty much the forensic autopsy begins at the medical examiner's office. You get the body bag or an evidence sheet to hold the body in. And they're pretty much like the same thing. They're just like an evidence sheet is like an alternative form. But they're both just sealed tightly. Everything's like always encased. And you travel in an unmarked van to where the actual office is. And if you don't do the autopsy like directly, you place the body in a morgue, which is like a place where you refrigerate the body so like the contaminants like just like nice and preserved for you. And then the body's cleaned up. If it's a homicide, the hands are placed into like little bags. You see, like if there's like a struggle, you just like check the fingernails and other stuff like that. And then after that, the body is then placed on a table. It's weighed. You weigh on like the autopsy table, which is like a table with faucets. It's just an aluminum table, nothing special really. But from different facilities, the table will vary, just because some people have more money than others. If you have like a forensic autopsy done in Raleigh compared to maybe like a little town like Cedarville, it's just gonna be different. And then after that, the body is just examined, and you get a body block. It's just a little plastic wooden block that's placed under the back. And what it does, it just arches the chest forward, so you can make the incisions a lot easier, and you just don't cut through the entire body at once, because then the autopsy would be messed up. And then I'm just gonna explain now the idea of how you do the internal, because that was the external. For the external one, they also look at the race of the person, scars, tattoos, there's other markings on them, just to see if that could have anything to do with how they died. Okay. Now I'm gonna do like the internal. First you start with like a Y incision from the shoulders all the way down to like the sternum right here, and you go down to the pubic bone. And then for men and female, it varies, because since women have breasts, you have to go around it so you don't cut them up, which is really bad if you do that. And then you peel the skin back, and then you do like a series of other cuts that exposes all the organs in the chest cavities, like the lungs. And actually watch one online, and he does all these cuts. He peels everything back, like from the rib cage all the way back. And then he pulls all the organs out at once, so you can like preserve and examine them. Then after that, you move the body block from the back up to the neck, so you can work on the head. But before you do that, you still look at what's inside the body, like the stomach, and then like all the other organs. You place them on a table, and then you just slice them up into little pieces. And after the guy sliced up like the liver, he just opened it up, and he looked through it, just to see exactly what was in it. He checked the blood vessels, make sure nothing was ruptured, just like a common procedure when doing autopsies. And then you go back and work on the head. The head's probably the most disgusting part and the most complicated part, because it's just so delicate and it's just a skull. So then you get like a little scalpel. I don't have a scalpel because I just feel like really weird if I had a scalpel. So I just brought like a little plastic knife and give you an idea of how it works. They start from the ears, they cut them all the way back on both sides, making sure they try to cut to the left as much as possible. That's just like a common practice. And how you hold the scalpel, like if you try to cut them like this, your wrist could like move out the way and stuff. So you usually hold it like this just to give it more balance. And you do it nice and fast, not too fast though so you don't mess it up. And then you take the electric saw on the front part of the head and you like round the edges, so it's like a cap almost. And you pull the head off and you take the brain out after like detaching the spinal cord within the body. And you just examine the brain for brain trauma and then like swelling in different parts. Because if it's like a homicide, the brain could be swollen in a different part of the body. And then after all that, stated by Dr. Kessel, the autopsy process can take 4 to 6 hours on Discovery Health, howstuffworks.com. And in the 4 or 6 hours, this isn't just how you do the autopsy, it's also paperwork and other procedures. It's a lot more complicated than most people think it is. And then the funeral home is contacted and the body is just put the rest. And then like you think this process is so good that everyone would try using it, but if you're an organ donor, they really can't cut up your organs because someone else can't use them. And also stated on AmericanAutopsy.com, private autopsies can take $1,500 to $3,500 to